now on the record for the video deposition of Shilo Sanders. The time is 9:23 on February 19th, 2018. Counsel, will you please introduce yourselves for the record?
Louis Isaacs on behalf of Shilo Sanders.
Larry Boyd on behalf of Deion Sanders.
Charles Crawford on behalf of Deion Sanders.
Robert Turner, Utica Mutual Insurance.
Jimmy Najim on behalf of John Darjeet.
Glennis Savarelli on behalf of the third-party defendants, Focus Learning Academy and Leroy McClure.
Will the court reporter please administer the oath?
Yes, if I can get you to raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sanders, my name is Glennis Savarelli, and I represent the third-party defendants whom you have served and brought into this litigation, that being Focus Learning Academy and Leroy McClure. Do you understand who it is I represent?
Yes.
Can you state your full name?
Shilo Deion Sanders.
And Mr. Sanders, I want to see if we can get some agreements at the beginning of this deposition to hopefully make it go quickly and smoothly for everybody. If I ask you a question you don't understand, will you tell me that so I can try to do a better job and ask a better question?
Most definitely.
If you'll let me finish my question before you start to answer, and I'll let you finish your answer before I start asking the next question. That way we're not talking over the top of one another. Is that agreeable to you? Can you respond yes?
That's nice,
okay.
yeah.
That was going to be the next one. If you'll respond out loud by actual verbal answers, yes, no, or even if you need to explain something, as opposed to shaking your head, shrugging your shoulders, saying That way the court reporter can accurately take down the answer to the question. Can you try to do that for me?
Yes, ma'am.
If you forget and start talking over me or start giving answers that are not verbal answers, don't be offended if I gently remind you to please give a verbal answer or let me finish my question. It really is important that the court reporter is able to take down accurately not only what I am saying, but what you are saying as well. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
If you need to take a break at any time, I'm happy to accommodate that request, as long as you answer whatever question is pending. The only kind of caveat to that, or the only exception to that, Mr. Sanders, is if I'm asking you something that you're not sure you are obligated to answer because it might be confidential, then you have the right to confer with your lawyer and get his sort of guidance and directive on that. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any medications today?
None.
Have you taken any in the last 24 hours?
None.
Is it accurate to say that currently you're not taking any kind of prescriptive medication for any particular illness or condition?
None.
Do you have any medical conditions, Mr. Sanders, or physical conditions that would affect your ability to sort of sit through this deposition and be able to pay attention to the questions that are being asked of you?
My back.
Okay, what's wrong with your back?
Just pain, discomfort.
Did you say pain goes through it?
Pain and
Oh,
discomfort.
pain and discomfort. So is it your lower back, upper back? Where's that?
Both.
Is it from your neck down?
It's like from like the middle of my lower, between there.
And are you taking any kind of over-the-counter, like Excedrin, aspirin, Tylenol, anything for the pain?
None.
Do you ever?
None.
Okay. So the back pain, like you've just described it, do you have that every day?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently taking any type of physical therapy?
Just massages.
Okay. Where do you get that done at?
My mom.
So she provides that for you? Is that yes?
Yes.
And is it accurate to say that whatever massage you get, you're only getting it from your mom and you're not really going to any kind of massage service anywhere else? Is that true?
That's not true.
Okay, so where else do you go?
Massage places, just
Where do you go?
I'm not sure like specifically, but just massage places.
So when you're saying massage places, do you mean places that are just pretty much about giving massages, as opposed to, Mr. Sanders, a chiropractor's office?
Also chiropractor. I've been to the chiropractor before.
In the past year, have you been to a chiropractor?
Yes, ma'am.
Who have you seen?
I do not recall.
Is it a man or a woman?
Both.
In different offices, different ones? Or same chiropractor place?
Men and women, like, both work at all chiropractic places. So
How
like,
many chiropractor places have you been to during the last year?
I don't recall that.
Do you recall the names of any of them?
Not at the moment.
Who takes you to those appointments?
Myself or my mom or anyone I ask.
When you say yourself, does that mean you drive yourself to the appointment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did you get your driver's license?
Oh, I was 16,
What's your date of birth?
February 9, 2000.
Have you ever given a deposition before?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever testified in a courtroom for any reason before?
Is that like? I'm not sure.
You're not sure if you've ever testified in a courtroom setting?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Since I can't tell if you have either by your answer, let me just make sure you're aware of this. Do you understand and appreciate that the testimony you're giving today is subject to the penalties of perjury?
No, I don't understand that.
You don't understand what that means?
I just thought I was supposed to be answering questions about Darjan in his case.
Yeah, you're here to answer questions about that, Mr. Sanders, and other things as well, and specifically about questions about why you sued my clients. But having said that, do you understand that you are obligated to tell the truth because you've been sworn and placed under oath?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that, do you understand that if you don't do that, that's a crime?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Going back to your back situation, how long has it been hurting more recently? Has it just hurt every day for the past several months?
Since Darjan assaulted me.
So is it your testimony that you didn't have any back issues until your incident with Mr. Darjan?
Significant back injuries.
Okay. Did you have any back issues prior to Mr. Darjan's incident?
I don't recall.
What treatment are you getting for your back pain?
As I said before, massages.
Okay, other than that, anything else?
I don't recall at the moment.
What treatment have you had during the month of February for your back pain?
I do not recall.
What treatment did you have yesterday for your back pain?
I don't recall at the moment.
What treatment did you have the day before for your back pain?
I do not recall at the moment.
What'd you do yesterday?
I do not recall at the moment.
You know what, I think I'd like to take a break and talk to you.
Sure.
We are now off the record. The time is 9:31. We are back on the record. The time is 9:37.
Back on, Mr. Sanders. Going back to my last question, what did you do yesterday?
I don't recall everything I did yesterday.
Just give me a rundown, just a sketch of what you did.
Just homework, stuff like that.
Okay, so now do you have any recall of the last time you would have actually gone and gotten a massage for your back?
I'm not sure of the exact date,
Yeah,
but recently I've got a massage.
from someone other than your mom?
Yes, from like the actual place.
Okay, and when you're saying an actual place, do you mean like a massage place or a
Yes,
chiropractor's
massage
office?
place.
Okay. Other than that, again, what we said, no other treatment that you're currently getting for your back other than the massages at either a massage place, a chiropractor, or by your mom. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
What have you done to prepare to come here and give your deposition, Mr. Sanders?
Got dressed and just came.
Okay, that's okay. Let me ask you a little bit more of a specific question. So before, not specifically just today, but in the last couple of weeks, Mr. Sanders, have you reviewed any documents to help kind of refresh your memory about what happened between you and Mr. Darjan?
Some court documents.
Okay, do you remember what they were?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you reviewed anybody's deposition transcripts, your dad's, Mr. Darjan's, Mr. McClure's? Have you looked at any deposition transcripts?
I think Darjan's.
Okay. And have you looked at any videos? Have you looked at anybody's video of their
None.
deposition?
None.
Have you looked at any of your, any records from the CPS investigation that was conducted of the incident between you and Mr. Darjan?
None.
Have you looked at any of the statements written by the various folks who, at Focus, either staff or kids, about what happened with you and Mr. Darjan?
None.
Have you reviewed any of your medical records which would have come into place after the incident and up and through last week? Looked at any medical records
Oh, ma'am.
to prepare to come here?
Oh, ma'am.
Have you looked at any of your school records to prepare to come here?
No, ma'am.
Do you keep a journal or a diary?
No, ma'am.
Did you talk to your dad about giving your deposition?
He told me I had to come give a deposition. That's about it.
Do you know how long ago it was that he told you that?
Probably last week.
Did he tell you anything about what got said in his deposition?
No, ma'am. We didn't discuss that.
Prior to your dad telling you last week, did you know before that you were going to have to come and give a deposition today?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ask your dad any questions about how his deposition went?
Yes, he said it was long. I just asked him how long they take. He said it's a long time.
And is that all that y'all talked about? About the depo?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you reviewed any kind of video or pieces of paper that give pointers about how to give a deposition?
Videos on YouTube.
Did you do that on your own?
Yes.
So did you watch actually people giving depositions on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.
From whatever videos you watched on that, well, one, let me ask you, do you think those were real depositions or things from TV or the movies?
Real depositions.
From whatever you saw on YouTube, did it give you any insight about the things you should or shouldn't do during a deposition?
Just the type of questions the lawyers ask you and how they repeat the same question over and over and ask you questions that don't really matter to the thing.
Anything on there that gave you any impression that if you're the person getting deposed, what you should probably do is try to answer the questions accurately and fully?
What'd you say again?
Yeah. Anything on the video depositions that you saw that made you think that if you're the person getting deposed, you should probably try to answer the questions accurately? Did you
Yes, that's what deposition is. You answer the questions they ask you with the truth, and that's what I came here to do today.
And how long ago did you watch those YouTube videos?
Last night.
Did anybody suggest that to you?
Nobody.
How late were you up watching those videos?
I went to sleep early last night, so probably like 8.
And then when you went on YouTube, what words did you use to pull those kinds of videos up? What kind of search
Deposition.
terms? Did you talk to your mom about giving your deposition?
Yes, she
What-
told me I had to come do a deposition today.
When did she tell you that?
A couple weeks ago and today.
Did she remind you about it today?
Yes, ma'am.
But you didn't need reminding, right? Because you had watched the videos last night knowing that you were coming.
I know I was coming.
Okay. When your mom told you about it a couple weeks ago, was that the first you had been told that you were going to have to give a deposition?
I'm not sure.
Did your mom tell you anything about how to testify or what to expect in this kind of a situation?
What to expect?
What did she tell you?
That I was going to be in there for a long time and they'll ask you the same questions over and over that don't, and some of the questions don't really have anything to do with the case.
Did she give you any examples of that?
No example.
When did you first become aware, Mr. Sanders, that you had sued Focus Learning Academy and Leroy McClure?
I do not recall exactly the exact date.
When you were initially sued by Mr. Darjan, do you remember when it was you first found out you were being sued by him?
I've heard about it, like my mom told me about it, but she tries to not keep me in court, you know, like she doesn't want to always tell me about court stuff.
So do you think you would have heard about it at first from your mom, that you'd been sued by Mr. Darjan?
Yes.
And is it your mom who also told you you had sued Focus Learning Academy and Mr. McClure?
I think my dad told me first.
How long ago did he tell you that?
I don't know the exact date.
Has it been this year, 2018?
Yes.
And we have in the deposition with us today your attorney who's sitting to your left. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
And then behind him is your mom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how you found your attorneys that are representing you in this case?
No, ma'am.
And so also that you understand and appreciate, anything I ask you, I'm not intending you to tell me anything that your lawyers have told you. Does that make sense to you? So if I ask you anything that sounds like in order for you to answer it, you're going to have to tell me what they said. I need you to not answer that because I'm not entitled to know what your lawyers are saying to you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Are those the photographs?
They are.
Okay.
You can go ahead. I'm just making sure that the ones I have here are included in there.
Okay. How much have you paid your attorneys to represent you in this case?
I have no clue.
Have you personally, Shilo Sanders, paid them anything?
I haven't paid them anything.
Have you ever seen a bill from their office?
I haven't seen anything.
And do you know if anybody has actually paid them anything yet for you?
I don't know.
Have you signed a contract with your lawyers?
No contract.
Have you signed any kind of written document where you're agreeing to have them represent you in this matter?
Nothing.
Do you know if anybody has signed something like that for you?
I have no
Objection forms.
And what was your answer?
I don't know.
What's your understanding of why Mr. Darjan sued you?
Can you repeat that question again?
Yeah, and keep in mind again, I'm not asking you to tell me what your lawyers have said, okay? I'm just asking you, as Shilo Sanders, the defendant in this lawsuit, if you have an understanding of why Mr. Darjan has sued you. Thank you.
You have another copy of those,
Let me get enough copies for everybody, made.
please.
To try to get out of going to jail.
You think he filed his lawsuit against you and I guess your dad because he thought he was going to have to go to jail about what happened?
Yes.
Did you press charges against him with the police department?
I do not recall.
Did your parents?
I'm not sure.
Have you ever seen any police records or documents that say that Mr. Darjan did something criminal and wrong to you?
I haven't seen anything like that.
Have you ever talked to any police people who were involved in y'all's incident who have come to you and said, hey, what he did was a crime, what he did was wrong, something like that?
It was a long time ago. I'm not really sure.
Okay, so is it accurate to say, as we're sitting here today, you're not having any recall of a conversation like that?
Would the police know?
Yeah. Who told you that what Mr. Darjan did was a crime?
Everyone who was there, who's seen it.
And so
Myself.
besides you thinking that, what people have told you that that's what they think?
I mean, getting assaulted, getting choked by any grown men, I think that's a crime.
Okay, objection non-responsive. What people have said to you that they think that it is?
Everyone.
And tell me their names.
If I told you what happened, you would say that's a crime.
Objection non-responsive. Tell me the names of the people, of the everyone, who have said to you that they think what happened to you was a crime.
Everyone, like, I don't know how to.
I'm asking you people's names, the names of people that.
I don't know
entities.
everyone's names, but
So who do you know? Whoever you do know, tell me their names.
teachers.
And what are their names?
I don't know everybody's names. That's what I'm
Do you-
saying. I don't recall everybody's names who's told me that that was illegal what he did.
Do you know the name of anyone other than you thinking it yourself? And of course, I'm not talking about
Ms.
their
Green.
attorneys. Ms. who?
Ms. Green.
Do you know Ms. Green's first name?
I don't know her first name.
Do you know what she did? Like, what's her job?
She was. All I know is that she was in the building when that happened.
She worked at Focus?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else, any other teacher besides Miss Green, whose name you know, who you recall specifically saying that what happened with Mr. Darjan to you was a crime?
I just don't remember like their exact names from like the teachers. I don't recall their names.
Okay.
Because this happened a very long time ago.
Understood. So if I'm hearing you correctly, the only teacher's name that you can recall who's made that comment was Miss Green.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what about anybody besides teachers that have said to you that they think what happened to you with Mr. Darjan was a crime?
My mom,
Okay.
Shilo Sanders.
Anybody else?
My grandma,
What's your grandma's name?
Jeanette Serdula.
Can you spell the last name?
Serdula.
And where does she live?
With us.
With y'all? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else that you can think of?
You just want me to name everybody that thought it was a crime.
Everybody who told you that they thought it was a crime. The names that you can remember of people.
Because there's a lot of students, but I don't remember everybody's name. That's why I'm having a hard
Yeah.
time thinking everybody's name.
And again, I'm not asking, obviously, if you don't remember names, you don't remember them. But for folks whose names you do remember, like Miss Green and like your mom and your grandma, you knew their names. I'm just asking you for the people's whose names you can remember.
That's about it.
Okay. Did you know that when you got initially sued by Mr. Darjan that you were your mom wasn't involved in that lawsuit for you at first as the defendant? She wasn't in the lawsuit for you?
I don't know about that.
Okay. Did you know that she, with respect to the claims that you're making against Focus and Mr. McClure, did you know that for a period of time your mom did step in and she brought this on your behalf? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay. Did you know that she isn't anymore?
I don't know.
What's your date of birth?
I already told you earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
February 9th, 2000.
So you turned 18 just a couple weeks ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your Texas driver's license number?
Hey,
Yeah.
can we have an agreement that, for purposes of this, that keep that confidential? I mean,
You guys know where I stand on keeping everything.
The driver's
I'm
license
fine.
number?
just the number. I don't mind giving it to you in this day of.
The number is on records that have already been attached as exhibits to depositions. I just don't want to be too strict with what is and is not confidential. It is not it's not confidential information. It is not proprietary. I certainly don't mind giving you an accommodation, but, it's just chipping away.
Can we have an agreement that it won't be used outside the context of this litigation?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Right. Counsel?
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Boyd?
Yes, we agree.
Okay.
And you had my agreement, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you know your driver's license number?
I don't even know it.
Do you have a copy of your driver's license or your actual license with you?
No, ma'am.
Did you drive here today?
My mom drove.
And so do you not typically carry it with you?
When I drive, I carry it with me.
Gotcha. Since you've had your license, have you ever had any problems with it, being revoked, suspended, anything like that happening?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Since you've had your driver's license, have you been in any major accidents of any type?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me rephrase. Since you've had your driver's license, have you been in any major car accidents where you were the driver?
Major as in what?
Good. That's a good question to ask me to clarify. Major car accident meaning either it did so much damage to your car that it wasn't really drivable, or you somehow had some kind of injury.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long ago was that?
I don't recall the exact time.
Did you have to go to the hospital or get seen by a doctor for that?
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you go?
I don't know exactly where I went because it was a while ago, but I know I went to the hospital.
You think it was a real hospital?
I know it was a real hospital.
Did you go to the emergency room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of injuries had you gotten in that car accident?
I forgot exactly what they said, but all I know is that I was just hurt. Like, we just got hit.
I was or wasn't hurt?
I was.
Were you hit from behind?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anybody else in the car with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was in the car with you?
My little brother,
And what's his name?
Shilo Sanders.
And I'm assuming the accident that you're talking about has happened since you've had your driver's license.
Yes, ma'am.
You weren't driving without a license.
No, ma'am.
So that's been since leaving Focus Academy.
I don't know exactly what date or what time period it was around when that happened.
What grade were you in?
I don't know.
What grade are you in now?
11.
What school were you going to when you had your accident?
It was either AAA or Trinity.
Okay. And what part of you was hurting after the accident?
My neck. I think that, yeah, it was my neck for sure. That's all I can recall right now.
Did the airbag deploy in your car?
No, ma'am.
Were there any other cars involved in the accident other than yours and the one that hit you?
Yes.
Did you end up hitting somebody else because they hit you from behind first?
No, the car that hit me, another car hit that car and they hit me again.
So the car that hit you twice?
Yes, the car that hit me, first it hit me, and then another car hit that car and that hit me too.
The first car hit you twice, right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Did you file any kind of lawsuit over that?
I'm not sure.
Do you know if you've submitted any kind of insurance claim for that?
I'm not sure.
Have you gotten paid any money since that accident because of that accident?
No, ma'am.
Do you know the name of the driver that hit you?
Mm-mm.
Is that a no?
No.
Do you know if it was an adult or a teenager?
It was an adult.
What time of day was it that this happened?
In the daytime.
Was it during football season?
I do not recall.
Other than that accident that you've told me about, any other car accidents that you have had in which you were the driver since getting your driver's license?
I don't recall at the moment any of them.
Have you been in any other kind of significant accident where you had an injury needing medical care since reaching the age of 16?
I don't recall at the moment.
Have you ever in your life been admitted to a hospital overnight?
Yes, ma'am.
When was that?
I had pneumonia.
How old were you?
I'm not sure exactly how old I was.
Do you think you were in elementary school?
I know it was after that, but
Were you in high school?
no, I wasn't in high school.
So sometime after elementary and before high school?
When I had pneumonia,
Yes, sir.
before high school for sure, after elementary.
Do you remember what hospital you were admitted to? Do
I don't remember exactly.
you remember how long you stayed?
It was a while. But I don't, like, you asked me exact dates, but like this stuff happened a long time ago. I can't remember the exact dates.
Other than the hospital admission for the pneumonia, any other times that you've been admitted to a hospital and had to stay overnight?
I'm not sure.
Any times that you've been seen through an emergency room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how many times have you been seen through an emergency room?
I don't know the exact number, but I know I've been to emergency room.
Okay, when's the most recent time?
I'm not sure.
Have you been to an emergency room in the last year?
I'm not sure.
Do you know what you went to an emergency room to be seen for?
When?
Anytime you've ever gone, Mr. Sanders.
I know when I had pneumonia, it was because pneumonia. I know when I had the car wreck, it was because of the car wreck.
Is that all you can recall?
At the moment.
Okay. And after being seen in the emergency room for the car wreck and your neck pain, did you get any other kind of treatment for your neck after that?
Chiropractor.
And do you remember which chiropractic group saw you for that, for the neck injury?
Multiple. I'm not sure the exact names because I was young and I forgot over the time.
Well, the car wreck has happened within the last 2 years for sure, right?
I'm not sure.
Well, you weren't driving without a license, were you?
No, I would never drove that license.
Okay, and you're just 18, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you've had your license for 2 years, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So the car wreck has happened within the last 2 years?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and that's what we were talking about, the neck pain that you had to have treatment for at the ER for the car wreck. So back to now getting you kind of oriented on time. Do you now have any recall or memory of the chiropractic groups or folks that you would have seen for that particular injury?
I don't know the exact names of them. I know that I went to the chiropractor.
How do you make your medical appointments? If you have something wrong with you and you need to be seen, do you do that for yourself, or does your mom do that for you?
My mom does it.
How do you pay for your medical appointments?
My mom, I don't know.
I mean, you're not paying out of pocket for something
I'm not paying for it.
yourself.
I'm sorry, I'm not paying for it. Please give her just a few questions to get the end of that question out. I missed the end of your question. Can you please repeat?
You're not paying out of pocket for that yourself.
I'm not paying for it.
Do you have a credit card?
No, no credit card.
Do you have a checking account?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a savings account?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever write checks?
No, I don't write checks.
Do you use the debit card from those accounts?
I haven't been using it lately.
Is that because you haven't needed to use it for anything lately?
I just haven't used it.
Do you get an allowance of some sort?
No allowance.
The money that's in your checking account, where does it come from?
Myself.
And how do you have money to put into a checking account?
DJing, music producing.
Do you have a music production company?
A company? No, I don't have a company.
But you produce things on your own that people pay you for?
Yes, ma'am.
And you DJ events?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a name that you go by as a DJ?
Just Shilo.
Have you DJ'd any events in the last year?
The last year? I should have.
Do you remember where or what any of them were?
I've DJ'd a lot, so I don't recall exactly which ones I've DJ'd
Do you have any
and
kind
where
of,
they are.
sorry, do you have any kind of a standard price you charge for your DJ services?
Nah, no standard price.
Just depends on what the event is and how big it's going to be and stuff like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other source of income for you currently besides DJing and music production?
None.
Does your dad ever give you money with any regularity?
Oh, no.
And I know you and your family were on at least one reality show for a little while. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Dion's Family Playbook?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get paid to be on that?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened to that money? Meaning, did you get to keep that money and put it in a checking account, or were your parents kind of keeping track of that money for you?
None.
So neither
My
of us.
dad gave it to me, and I spent it
Okay, so you didn't try to save it or anything like that?
for a good majority of the time. I tried to save it, but
Okay.
that didn't work how I planned it.
Uh,
It ended up getting spent.
Other than Dion's Family Playbook, any other reality shows that you've ever participated in?
Yes.
What other ones?
A few. I don't recall the names of them.
Did the money, did you get paid for those too?
No, I didn't get paid for those.
Okay, so the only one that you're remembering that you got paid for was the Family Playbook show?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you currently trying to be on a reality show?
Trying to. I'm just living life right now.
Are you on a reality show right now?
No.
Okay. And let me ask you a little bit of a different question. Has anybody approached you in the industry asking you to participate or consider being on a particular reality show?
Not me.
Okay. What are your parents' names?
Dion and Pilar.
Okay. Same last name, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And your siblings are?
Shador and Shalimar.
Are those your only two siblings?
Yes.
How old is Shador?
16,
How old is Shalimar?
14 is Shalimar
Shalimar, thank you. And where do you currently live?
in Garland.
What's your address
For what?
for where you live?
I don't want to put my address out there on camera. I don't want to do that. I think that's private. It's very private. That's where I live.
Okay.
I don't know like anyone here. I'm not, especially Darjan's right there. I'm not giving my address.
Okay. So how do you want to handle that?
Let's talk about it during the break.
Okay. Wherever you live out in Garland, how long have you been there?
I don't know the exact time period, but it's been a while.
You think has it been since you turned 16, or were you living there even before you turned 16?
I'm not sure. Because I don't want to give you the wrong answer. So, I'm not sure.
I appreciate that because I don't want the wrong answer.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure, you're not sure. You know, when you're saying things like, I'm just explaining to you, and your lawyer will understand this as well. When you're saying things like, I'm not sure, if I continue to ask you like little bigger questions that's trying to jog your memory a little bit, Mr. Sanders, it isn't meant to harass you or prolong this, frankly. I'm just trying to see if we can get an answer, and if we get to a point where you're just still not sure, then you're just still not sure, okay?
Because I know I'm under oath, and I don't want to give you an answer that's not the right answer,
Yeah.
because then I'm going to get in trouble for that. So
Gotcha.
if I say I don't know, I'm not just trying to make you mad or nothing like that.
Gotcha. And I assure you, you're not. During the time that you've lived in Garland, what schools have you attended?
That I remember for sure that I've been to since I've lived in Garland. I've been to Trinity. I've been to Saxe. And I'm not sure if I went to AAA. Under that, I'm not sure about AAA.
Gotcha. So it may have been that when you were going to AAA, you might have already been living in Garland. You just can't remember.
Can you repeat the question again?
Are you saying that it may have been while you were going to AAA, you may have already been living in Garland at your current place, you just can't remember for sure?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So Trinity, is it Trinity Christian Academy?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you go there?
I started my sophomore year.
And I'm sorry, did you say you're in your junior year currently?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you started at Trinity in your sophomore year, did you start there in the fall at the beginning of the school year?
I started there around January of my sophomore year.
Gotcha. And where had you gone the first part of your sophomore year?
To AAA.
Is Trinity where your brother goes?
Currently?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And is that where your sister goes?
No, ma'am.
Do your brother and sister both live with you at the address you're at in Garland right now?
My sister stays all the time. My brother comes and visits.
And then other than you and your mom, your sister, anybody else that lives there day in, day out?
My grandma and my aunt.
Okay. Is your grandma the same grandma you've already told me about?
Jeanette Sedula.
Okay, and then what's your aunt's name?
Candy
Do you know her last name?
Biggers.
Anybody?
I don't know if her real name's Candy, though.
Okay. That's just what you call her?
It might be Candace or something. I don't know. I think it's Candy Biggers, though.
At any time, has there been anybody else that lived at that address with y'all other than the people you've just told me about?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any pets?
No pets.
Do you have any Responsibilities at the house, any chores that you're expected to do with any kind of frequency?
Yes.
What are your chores?
To take out the trash.
What else?
To just clean up.
After yourself? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Do y'all have anybody that helps clean?
Nobody.
So any cleaning that gets done at y'all's house is done by the people living there.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other chores that are expected of you other than cleaning up after yourself and taking out the trash?
Being respectful.
Do you consider that a chore?
It's not a chore. I do that anyway.
That's just something that your mom expects of you?
Yes.
Okay. And does she expect that of you in every situation that you find yourself in?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have to ever carpool your sister anywhere? Is that anything you're asked to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a best friend right now?
Benjamin Franklin.
What did you say?
Benjamin Franklin.
What's the first name?
Benjamin.
That's what I thought you said. And Franklin is the last name?
Yes.
And I'm assuming that's actually a real person,
Yeah, that's a real person.
not the Benjamin Franklin from hundreds of years ago.
Yes, the $100 bill. That's my best friend.
Okay. Other than money being your best friend, do you have a person that's your best friend?
My little brother.
Okay. Do you have a girlfriend right now?
No, ma'am.
Are you dating anybody?
These are personal questions now. They're getting quite personal.
Are you dating anybody?
No.
At school currently, what's your class load like? Like what classes are you taking?
English. I'm taking English, algebra, U.S. history, baseball, tech theater, and health.
Okay. Currently, these are the classes you're enrolled in right now for this semester?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right now, I know we're just in the beginning of the semester, but how do you feel like you're doing? Are you doing okay in those classes?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
What's your favorite class of all those?
Baseball.
Okay. What's your favorite academic class of all of those? So between English, algebra, and U.S. history, what of those three would be your favorite if you had to pick a favorite?
Oh, and physics. I'm in physics. Physics is my favorite.
Okay. Who's your teacher for physics?
Miss Darvo.
What's her name?
Miss Darvo.
D-A-R-V-O?
I don't know how to spell that.
Are you in any AP classes?
No AP classes.
Have you ever taken AP classes?
I'm not sure.
Have you ever been diagnosed, Mr. Sanders, with any kind of a learning difference?
None.
Have you taken the SAT yet?
Not yet.
Have you taken the ACT yet?
Not yet.
Are you planning to take one of those?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one do you think you're going to be taking?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Do you know what your current GPA is at school?
I'm not sure exactly what it is.
And I appreciate that you're not sure, and I know you don't want to give me a number that's not right. Let me ask a little bit of a different question. Do you think that with respect to your GPA, it's at least above average to some degree?
Above average? Depends what average you're talking about.
Okay, that's a great point. Let me ask it this way. Do you make mostly A's and B's, or do you make a lot of C's? Can you kind of give me a picture of you that way?
A's, B's, probably one C.
So you're basically an AB student.
No, A, B's, and 1C.
Okay. Have you failed anything in high school?
Yes.
What did you fail?
Chemistry.
Did you have to retake it?
Yes, I had to retake that class in the summer.
How'd that go when you retook it?
It was good.
Did you pass it?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other classes that you have failed other than chemistry?
No, ma'am.
Last semester, the fall semester of your junior year, do you remember if your grades were mostly A's and B's then?
There were A's and B's. Last semester, we go by 6 weeks.
Okay.
So there's different grades every 6 weeks. In the first 6 weeks, I made A's and B's.
Do you remember what you were taking last semester?
The same
All these same classes?
core classes.
But you wouldn't have, were you in baseball last semester?
Nah, baseball season starts now.
Right, so rather than.
I was in football
Gotcha. And then were
and
you.
basketball.
Okay. And then rather than, were you in anything besides theater last semester?
No, I was still in tech theory.
During your sophomore year of high school, did you have a best friend?
Benjamin Franklin's always been my best friend, but other than that, no.
Okay, and again, you're talking about money.
Yes.
Did you have a girlfriend your sophomore year?
No.
Does your school, your school that you're in currently, does it have like a junior senior prom?
I'm sure they do.
Are you going to it?
I don't know. I don't know much about it right now.
Do any of your friends that you currently hang out with, do any of those girls or guys know about your lawsuit, about this lawsuit right here?
Everyone.
How do they know about it?
They know about what happened. They know about the video of Darjan attacking me on TMZ.
So do you think, so that's my question, do you think they learned about it from seeing it on TMZ?
Yes.
Do you know how that video got to TMZ?
I have no clue.
Did you give it to them?
I didn't give it to him.
Okay. Do you know if your dad did?
I don't know.
Are there people at your current school that don't want to hang out with you and don't want to be your friend because of what happened with Mr. Darjean and this lawsuit that you have found yourself in?
That definitely affects me, and everybody I know knows about it.
Okay. Well,
So I don't know what other people think. I know that they know about it, and I know that it comes up to me on a daily, but I can't tell you that they don't want to hang out with me because of that, because I don't know.
you just know that people know about it and they ask you about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a group of friends right now?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any friends besides Benjamin Franklin and your brother?
True friends, no.
Okay. Have you ever had true friends in your life other than Benjamin Franklin and your brother?
Yes.
Okay. When's the last time you can remember in your life, Mr. Sanders, having a group of people you thought were your true friends?
My family.
Okay. Other than family members. Well, let me ask you this. Are there family members that you have right now besides your brother that you do think are your friends?
No.
Okay, so he's your only friend of the family. Friend that's within your family.
No, it's not true.
Okay, so who are your family members currently that you think are your friends?
All of them.
Okay, so all of those relationships are the same as they were years ago when you said your family were your friends. It's the same thing, yes?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I asked you, when's the last time you can remember having a group of people you consider to be your true friends other than Benjamin Franklin and your brother? And you said it'd been years ago. Do you remember that? Is that a yes?
No, I didn't say true friends. Did I say?
You did.
You're asking me the same question. It's getting confusing now.
Yeah,
It's like
objection.
the same thing over and over.
Okay, objection non-responsive. When's the last time you had a group of people you considered to be your true friends that were not your family members?
A group of people, that's where I don't have a group of people. That just my friends other than my family members.
Okay, when's the last time that you had anybody that was your friend other than a family member?
Now I can answer this. Probably, you said the last time?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by friend? Like somebody you hang out with?
I'm using your word, true friend. Whatever you meant by true friend.
I already answered this.
When's the last time you had anybody who wasn't your family member that you thought was a true friend?
Probably some years ago.
Did you say some years
Some
ago?
years ago.
Okay. And what happened to that friendship?
You just stopped talking.
Do you know why?
Distance. You can't hang out all the time.
Like physical distance.
Yeah, because I moved to my mom's house.
Where were you living before your mom's house?
At my dad's house.
And did y'all all live there together? You and your mom and your brother and sister and your dad?
No.
Okay. So for a period of time, you lived with your dad at the place he was staying?
Yes.
And not the specific address, but what town was that in?
Cedar Hill.
Okay. When did you move over to Garland? Do you remember?
You asked me this earlier, and I'm not sure.
How long did you live at the Cedar Hill address?
I'm not sure exactly.
Who else lived there besides you and your dad?
By name?
Family members. What other family members lived at your house with your dad and you in Cedar Hill?
My little brother and my little sister. I have 2 adopted aunts. My cousin, my little cousin, and family members, that's it.
Okay.
And my grandma and my aunt.
And when you say your grandma and your aunt, that's on your dad's side of the family?
Yes.
And what's your grandma's name on your dad's side of the family?
I call her grandma.
Do you know her name?
Connie. I don't think that's her real name though.
Do you know her last name?
Knight. I don't know how to spell it.
And what about the aunt? Is that your dad's sister?
Yes.
And what's her name?
Tracy.
You know her last name?
I'm not sure what her last name is.
When's the last time you saw Connie Knight?
Last week.
Where'd you see her at?
At the house.
What house?
At my dad's house.
Were you there visiting?
It was I seen her on the tent.
Of February?
Yes,
What were
February
you
10th.
What were you over at your dad's house for on February 10th?
I was following my brother home to that house after a party that we had.
Where was the party at?
It was in DeSoto.
Was it a school function or just a bunch of folks getting together?
Birthday.
Whose birthday was it?
None of our birthdays.
I'm sorry?
None of our birthdays.
So another person's birthday?
No, it was a birthday party.
Yeah, whose birthday was it?
None of our birthdays.
Whose birthday was it that you went to the birthday party?
None of our birthdays.
Were you at a birthday party?
Yes.
Okay, whose birthday was it?
It was none of our birthdays.
We've been going for about an hour. You'll take a break.
Sure.
We are now off the record. The time is 10:28.